1 maxed out MacBook Pro, 1 iPad Pro, 1 Springboard Bootcamp. Yo, this is Oscar, and I am coming back to the design world. Will these tools help me become a professional product designer within these next couple of months? Welcome to my series on Dodefy, my journey to becoming a product designer. Let's talk about the 10 usability heuristics for UI by Jacob Nielsen from the Anon group. So let's move on to the computer, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So it's what it is that it's basically a method to evaluate a design, and if a design has problems, or if a design uses a specific rules. So what you want is you want your designs to have these rules because it is way better for the users. So it's not really like set specific guidelines, but more like a rule of thumb methods that you could use in your design to make it better. And also you could judge other designs off these. So this is Jacob Nielsen, 1994. So it's been a while since he came up with these methods, and they're still being used today. So that means that they're actually really, really good. So the first one is visibility system status. So communication and transparency. So what you want in your design or in your system in this case. So I'll be talking about saying system, which basically means the design. So the system should keep the user informed with where they are in the system. So they should know where they're at all times. And you should give a user feedback when it's needed in the right time. So examples could be percentage of battery left on a phone or device, electronic device, or it doesn't really have to be electronic, but it can also be physical. So a bus stop, they usually have signs or subway saying when's the next stop, stuff like that, or a car speedometer where it shows a user that they're going this speed, and the system is responsive in reasonable time, like it shows you instantly that user is going that many miles per hour. And another one would probably be adding to cart, and then your cart goes like, oh yeah, there's a product 1 or 50 that you have in cart. This basically reduces uncertainty and tells the user that the system is working. So the second one here is match between system and the real world. So users like familiarity. So familiarity is always better. So the system should speak in the user's language, so it could appear more natural. So always use simple language. Don't use really complicated words. Use, perhaps if you're designing, use shadows, 3D objects, something that relates in real world, kind of like perhaps like maybe a credit card, that you know how credit cards look, and then applying that like in a design, like kind of the same thing. Like users like that a lot. Here another example is the up and down button, like on a phone, or the earbuds here, they have up and down. So increase volume, decrease, that's kind of like universal, and it's really familiar to a lot of users. Another one is highlighting in a book and a blog article. So they're kind of like almost the same, and it shows that to users, and users really like that. So the next one is user control and freedom. What you want in your design, in your system, is that you want to allow users to roam free around. You want them to be able to skip or exit if they want to, or undo and redo. It's very simple rule, but it's really good. So the next one is consistency and standards. So same is always good. So if your system is consistent in colors, fonts, design styles, it's really good because it provides that that standard, that's the brand, that's the system, that's the design, that's it, and it just becomes more comfortable for the user. So the next one is error prevention. You want to prevent users from errors. So you want to eliminate problems that can be bad for users. So here in the NN group, there's two errors, the slips and mistakes. So slips are when a user performs an action, but then they end up doing another action. So like example, typing up a wrong word in a keyboard. So that's a slip. And then a mistake is users has incorrect information about the task. So users take the right steps to complete the goal, but the result is an error. So they follow everything, users follow everything, but then it's an error in the system's fault and not the user. That's a mistake. So you want to guide users to less slips and mistakes. So set limitations, good defaults, or offer suggestions if needed. So an example could be like Google, or Amazon, when you type up a product and then it just fills out the whole thing. So that's preventing that slip. So the next one is recognition rather than recall. So minimize cognitive load. So always you want users to burn less calories, to think less, so because users are busy all the time, they just want to get to the point. They want to see what your design offers and if it's valuable to them or not. So you want to minimize recall, enhance recognition, make objects, actions, and options more visible. So examples would be putting recently viewed like on the dashboard or homepage, or you viewed this product, or we recommend this after viewing this, or favorites, wish list, shopping list, icons, navigation. So like the icons and navigation where it shows the icon and it shows what their function is. Like you want to guide that to the user. You don't want them to remember from like a week ago that the icon means that. Like you don't want that. You want that to be visible for them all the time, so they won't have to use their recall. So recall is something that a user needs more time to and more calories to recall. So as opposed to recognition, where it's a lot easier. So the next one is flexibility and efficiency of use. These are basically accelerators. So it's something that's not noticeable to the novice user, but it's there. So this speeds up the process for advanced users. And so once you learn the basics and continue using the system, you could do this. So these are either keyboard shortcuts or touch gestures. So here on the right side, we have that 3 taps is undo. And then also like in softwares, there's like Control Z, Command Z, undo, and Control Shift Z, Command Shift Z. Those are all like the shortcuts that a more experienced user uses. So always have that available in your design. So that's a good thing. So the next one is aesthetic and minimalist design. So what you want to keep it simple. So you want to keep information relevant. So if it's not really relevant, just get rid of it. You don't really need it. So one question that you want to ask yourself is this really needed? Can it function without it? So help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. So explain simple. So an error message should be explained in simple language as opposed to some complicated like language that the user doesn't even know what the heck is going on. Just simple words, and also indicate like the problem, like what's the problem, what's going on, or suggest a solution. How can you solve this? maybe tap this to reload. Something simple, something solution that's very to the point. The next one is help and documentation. What usually system is better, your design is better without documentation, but may be needed for the help of your users, to help the users from specific tasks or things that are on your design that need some documentation. So what you want to do is, if you actually have a documentation, you want to focus on your users' tasks and follow-up steps. You want your documentation not to be too long, because users don't want to go through a 20-page documentation over your design, So that's the end of my presentation for the 10 heuristics, 10 usability heuristics for UI. Hopefully you guys found it useful and you guys could use it to judge other designs or to help boost up the quality of your designs and the function. So hopefully you guys like it. Leave a like, subscribe, and for the next one, peace out.